TORAZ versus SILK, Game 3. Winner moves on. Loser goes down into the placement matches. So, for the side of SILK, 4DD setup. I haven't seen a ton of these on EU. Gearing, Marceau, Daring, Marceau, along with Petro, Moskva, Nevsky, Schlieffen, Ohio. On the side of TORAZ, another 4D setup. Daring, Marceau, Harugamo, Gearing, Des Moines, Moskva, Petro, Kremlin, and Yamato. It'll be interesting to see how these teams choose to play it out, ladies and gentlemen. So as we look at this, looks like the Daring of Source is going to go straight into B, and then the Daring of Love Cat. Something I do wonder, chat, because as an NA streamer I don't know this, is there a lack of like for the Z52? Because I see Z52s on NA, especially for maps like this, where having that long-range Hydro is great for the B cap, but I feel like I never see them on EU. And so I'm just wondering what the reasoning is for EU for not using the Z52s, or if it's just these teams and the other teams I've watched specifically. Now, as I look in at this, this is going to be brutal at A. Double Marceau versus Marceau Harugamo. The Harugamo is going to be a little bit late, Doctor, and I don't even know if they're going to send him into A or if he's just going to be there to try to use the Daring and they hit iPad Love Cat as he comes through. But CPR heading straight down to A, and this is going to be rough, chat. This is going to be very rough. He's going to run into 2 DDs. I saw this yesterday on NA. It did not end well for the one. They spot each other. CPR turning out. Shots are in. He sees the 2, and he's like, oh, crap. And honestly, I have to commend him on that trigger discipline. Not shooting there was the absolute best play he could have made. If he shoots there, he's spotted for 20 seconds, he's taking damage. He doesn't shoot there, he dodges the one salvo, and now he's safe. Now, as we look in, the Daring of Love Cat spotted briefly, Daring of Source spotted. Petro is in position to radar, the other Petro is not yet, so Source is going to have to back off. He has gotten the better end of the trade for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. Petro radar goes down, Source is backed out, but he'll come back in. And remember, Brody is now able to back in and do that as well. Daring of Source using a heal. Love Cat has not used a heal yet, so now I'd say the slight advantage to Love Cat. A has been capped by the side of Silk, though. So A has points ticking up for Silk. They're at 340 and climbing. Health pools are still very similar, but about a 30,000 health lead to the side of TORAZ. And now this Moskva has become prio target number 1. Shells just flying in on him. The Harugamo takes a bit of damage, continues to push out and get away from the Moskva's angle, but the Moskva being down 20,000 health and popping a heal this early in doesn't feel good. And another big chunk that's going to lower him down to about 55,000, 56,000 after the heal is done. More shells in. The Moskva has gone dark. The shells hit. Oh, blind fires are in, ladies and gentlemen. And he's lucky it's not too major. And ends right there at 55-2. Now, no other cap being taken yet. So right now, TORAZ down 70 points. It's not a major advantage yet, but every second you have a cap ticking that you're not matching with your own cap does really hurt in the long run. It can be the difference between games at the end. Nevsky of Tyloo spotted. Des Moines of Philippolis is firing at him, and I love seeing these smoke trains being used so effectively. That's one of my favorite things with the press accounts is we see all the ledge mods that get used that don't always get used outside of that. Now, Emmanuel Elb, the Gearing, coming down the edge looking for it. Nevsky is already radared, so the Gearing should be able to get pretty far down the edge, and the Gearing will know that he's radared. Back in our mid-fight, Lovecat continues to take the damage. Brody has radared. They've spotted briefly. Source taking a big chunk of damage. He's down to his last heal. Daring of Lovecat still will have a heal to pop here in a second. Shots out on Source. Source takes a big hit from the Moskva Socialist successor. And he's down to under 10,000 now with one heal left. That trade started off decently, but it ended very poorly for the side of TORAZ. And 2 caps to none now, and that points lead for Silk is just climbing. 440 points now on the board for them. They are 140 points up. Starting to see some repositioning. They know the daring of Source is low, and Silk is bringing in the Marceau and the daring so that the next time they have this fight, unwelcome little surprise, Source gets slapped and possibly killed. Shells out towards the Moskva. They're continuing to try to whittle him away. 56,000. He's used 2 heals now, so he's starting to be in danger. He's not in danger yet, but he's starting to be. And as I continue to look across the map, let's watch this push over here. This is going to be interesting. There's the Ohio to try to support, but the Des Moines and Gearing are moving very aggressively up here to take control of the C area. Des Moines radars, they'll see where the Nevsky is, they'll see where the Gearing is. Gearing is going to get out of there soon, but the Des Moines has gotten himself into a position where he can't be hit by the Ohio. And now the Gearing has the chance, as soon as that radar ends in 12 seconds, to actually take the cap of C. Shells out from across the map. Nevsky just dodges, doesn't take the major damage, takes about 4k chunk, and the daring of Source has taken another hit, and he's also out of heals, so his effectiveness is gone. He's great for spotting, but he's still very low and not nearly as effective. Triple cap now, by the way, for the side of Silk. And that points lead I talked about wasn't too big a concern. It's up to 300 now. Bright Spot is a little bit of a health lead for the side of TORAZ, and that no ships are gone yet, but that's, yeah. I mean, there's not much else right now. Your daring has been brought very low, so you have to use your Hirugamo to smoke him up, because the daring can't aggress. Harugumo's taking damage and he can't heal any of that every time he tries to open up. And there's the Marceau, that nasty surprise I talked about. And you haven't managed to get C. Gearing moving into C now. Nevsky takes another hit. He's down to 2 heals left, 29,000. But Best Brian coming over, and there's the radar from the Petro. And Silk just has this on lockdown as we look at these radar rings. There is no way for C to be taken if they hit their shots when the radars are. And you can see it right there. Gearing down to 17,000 and change. Just dodges that set. He'll feel good about that. Nevsky is taking a little bit more chunk damage, and the Des Moines of Philly is playing a very good job to stay away from where that Ohio can hit him. But 720 points for the side of Silk now. This is... There's the cap being finally stopped to see. I mean, this is becoming unwinnable. This is becoming unwinnable, and sorry, apologies about the dog squeaker toy you heard there in the back. Nevsky of Tyloo is being forced out finally. They're pulling him back. He's down to 12,000. He's using his second to last heal. They have at least got some damage. That'll keep him lower. Shells out. Shells are a couple hit. He's down under 10,000 briefly. Des Moines will be able to radar him here in just a minute, and expect that right now. Okay, he's already spotted, so they don't need to radar. But yeah, that's going to be a dead Nevsky. So, TORAZ, despite the lead, will claim first blood, it looks like, here on that Nevsky. Des Moines still not radaring him, but they know where he is. He's moved up. And ladies and gentlemen, down to 3,000. There's the radar. And now the Nevsky spotted, and expect the shots in here to kill him any second. He's got 56 seconds to the heal, so he's going to be dead. Gearing opening up. Nevsky is going to go down. Nevsky can't even see the Gearing anymore. So, and here come the shots from the Kremlin's guns. Oh, they just missed. This Nevsky is living far longer than he has any business to. And the Kremlin will finish him off, and first blood happens just before 10 minutes into the game. And now you can see, as we go out to wide zoom, All the fights are happening. Silk is taking that as a chance to open up. They are looking at the Des Moines, and they are going to try to knock him down. He's down to 3,000 health and healing, but he's not long for this world with a Marceau and a Gearing farming him. His goal is get as much damage on the Marceau as he can, ladies and gentlemen. And Des Moines goes down right here. That'll tie it up. 832 to 280 points. But all three caps are being contested right now. All three caps are being contested right now. So, no points gain is occurring for the side of Silk. Marceau of Marriage Society Beat is working on the Kremlin of Emmy. And Emmy is down to 33,000, though he is preventing that. And we have a cap taken for the side of TORAZ. That means that they will silently start to tick those points back up. But this health lead is just ballooning for the side of Silk. I mean, it's almost 100,000 right now. Silk has 852 points. I see very few ways that TORAZ gets back into this game. I see very few ways that TORAZ can get back into this game, ladies and gentlemen. With the fact that they've lost so much health. Kremlin down to 4,000. He is healing. His heal's going to go down soon, and with no DCP, if he takes a fire, that's game over. There's the fire, right as I say it. And that's going to be a dead Kremlin. Heal finishes up here in a second, and he's gone. He knows it as well. He won't survive until his DCP comes up in 20 seconds. And shots in the back from the Ohio. The Kremlin goes down. That's a 2-ship-to-1 lead for the side of Silk. And Silk is furiously working to finish this game and move on. All three caps still being contested, so points are not ticking right now, but Silk will win if they can get them off the caps. Ferugamo down to 3,300. Schlieffen fighting a Moskva now. Schlieffen retreating from the Moskva, but the secondaries are going to do some serious work to that, man. I mean, you can see the tick down happening here, just tick, 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 as those secondaries just do their job against that Moskva. And with that Moskva being in secondary range for a while still, he is not going to have a good time. Double fire, uses the DCP, be ready to be set right on fire again. Here come the secondaries, still out, and wait for it. I'm expecting it any second. Maybe he doesn't get set on fire. Oh, there we go. Shells in from the Schlieffen, gonna ricochet for the most part, but Moskva takes a ton of damage there, and that's a perma-fire. CPR's Marceau pushing up. He's looking to try to find something, but the Moskva's gonna radar him, and that means that he's gonna be open water for any ship that wants to aim at him. Fortunately, it seems like the Schlieffen's gonna work the Moskva for now. Oh, and the gearing of Emmanuel does get the Ohio. He manages to kill off the Ohio, and that is big, ladies and gentlemen. Dead Ohio, that gives a small chance for TORAZ to come back. But the Marceau has spotted the gearing, and the Marceau's opening up. Emmanuel has to get out of here without dying. Shells out. Emmanuel's trying to run. Shells are continuing to fly in on him. He hasn't taken too much yet. Down to 2,400. He's down to 0, and that's the kill response back from USA Daddy. That's going to give Silk over 900 points now. And with the daring finally going down in B, B will start ticking up. Silk is 1 cap away from winning, ladies and gentlemen. Silk is 1 kill or 1 cap away. They're going to take C here. They get Brody, and that puts them at 998. And as soon as they tick over the B cap, that will be the win. Or if Pitcher Braba goes down here, we'll see which one happens first. And Pitcher Braba goes down, and a Petro goes down, ladies and gentlemen. And this side of Silk will win that game 1-2-0, or will win that game and the series 2-2-1. GG, well played to both teams. And so we're going to check if our next game is ready yet. Our next game is in the loser's bracket. It is going to be AAO I'm looking for it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be AAO versus, I'm not sure who yet. Paid. AAO versus Paid. And the voting is just starting. So I'm going to throw us to a quick break just so I can rest my voice. We'll be right back to talk about all the teams.